Aspirant, welcome to the nightmare spell.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you.
Web novel. So what is the Forgotten Shores? Well, it's a harrowing but beautiful place that's located in the dream realm. By day, it's a crimson coral labyrinth that has a bunch of monsters roaming inside of it. But by night, the labyrinth gets overtaken by dark water. And in that water are some insanely strong monsters. And our main character, Sunny, gets dropped right into this place. And just to give you a sense of how absolutely dangerous this place is, it's labeled a death zone in the dream realm. And this is where the average monsters are, and this is where the average humans are when it comes to strength. Now, Sunny isn't alone in the Forgotten Shores. He actually has a trio with Nephis and Cassie. Cassie is this blind seer who has crazy dreams all throughout the Forgotten Shores. Her whole reason for existing is just to point them in the right direction and then just get carried by them. And Nephis is an orphan daughter of one of the most popular families in the entire world, although she doesn't have very many abilities. All she has is flames that burn, flames that heal, is an insane swordsman, is a divine aspect holder, has one of the strongest wills in the verse, and of course is super attractive and also super nonchalant. If you want to compare her to someone, you can think of prime LeBron James, because that's the type of numbers that she was putting up in the Forgotten Shores. Oh, in case you actually haven't read Shadow Slave, you also have Sunny, our MC. He's our noble short king cockroach, and his main ability is with shadows. He can send a shadow out to scout for him. And these three crossing the Forgotten Shores is absolutely peak. So now you're probably wondering, why are they even crossing the Forgotten Shores? What's the reason? Well, it's to find a gateway, which is a portal that lets you go back to the real world. So while they're on this hunt to find the gateway, they run into some absolutely ridiculous situations. That leads me to my introduction into the Carapace Scavenger, which is the absolute Elden Ring boss that they have to constantly fight across the Forgotten Shores. It's this 2.5 meter tall, weird looking demonic crab creature. And no one at their level should be able to take one down, but they were actually able to take out dozens of them all across the Forgotten Shores. And this trio just kept on traversing the Forgotten Shores until Cassie told them where to go. In a vision of hers, it said to go west, so that's exactly where they went. And eventually they ran into one of the best parts of the Forgotten Shores, which is the Soul Devouring Tree. Now, if you played any Souls-like game, you probably recognize that some of these things that I'm mentioning are directly from it. And that's why you love this story and this arc as a whole, is because they take the best parts of a bunch of different stories and combine them into one. Back to the Soul Devouring Tree, we see Sunny, Nephis, and Cassie approach this tree. Without even realizing it, they get stuck in a mind hex, and this is where we really get to see Guilty 3, the author, show off. You might be wondering, how exactly did they break free of this epic mind hex? Well, Sunny quickly climbed the Soul Devouring Tree, became the only human in history to kill a great devil with a single strike as a sleeper. From that great devil, he received a drop of ichor, which he proceeded to drink, and then became the heir of Weaver, which is an entity that rivals the gods themselves. Afterwards, he went back down the tree, received a vision from Cassie, which he remembered and then forgot, and then remembered and then forgot again. And then while maintaining his sanity against the Soul Devouring Tree, he was able to convince Nephis and Cassie to build a boat in secret, because they actually didn't want to leave the tree because they were stuck in that mind hex. He was then able to convince those two people to get inside of the boat that they made and then push them off away from the tree. And I want you to remember that this was at nighttime, whenever the Forgotten Shores had water filling it with insanely powerful monsters inside, so they had to somehow escape the grasp of all of these ridiculously powerful creatures. And after sailing for a super long time, they eventually found what Cassie saw inside of her vision, and that was a castle in the Forgotten Shores that had other people inside of it, so they weren't completely alone. Now, I'd like to point out that the Forgotten Shores is by no means small. In fact, it's actually ginormous and about the size of a continent in real life. Now, I'd like you to imagine getting inside of a boat that you and two of your best friends made, and then sailing across the Pacific Ocean to get to the other continents. And if you still think you can do it, that's amazing. Now, I want you to add in Cthulhu in the middle of that ocean and see how far you get, because that's basically what they had to deal with to make this journey. Now, after finding this castle, they decided to make their way inside. And this is where they ran into one member who'd be joining their cohort eventually, and that's Effie. She's the muscle mommy of the story, and she's also really skilled at fighting and a really talented survivor of the Forgotten Shores. And she introduces them into the general situation of the castle, aka the Bright Castle. In this castle, there's one king, and he's a tyrannical ruler named Gunlog. He rules with an iron fist and has a right-hand man named Horus. She also tells him how there's actually not a gateway inside of this castle, so what they can came looking for this whole time actually wasn't here. But they actually determined that the gateway was in the Forgotten Shores, only it was next to the Bright Castle inside one of the most dangerous places, the Crimson Spire. This is a ginormous structure that looms over the Forgotten Shores, and it's well protected by some insanely strong monsters. All of this put together makes an absolutely perfect setting because you have the tyrannical ruler who tries to stomp anyone out from going to the Crimson Spire out of fear of escaping. In fact, he actually gave up on leaving the Forgotten Shores altogether due to there being multiple attempts to escape, but every single one of them ending in failure. And then you have Nephis with her strong will wanting to contend against this tyrannical ruler, escape the Forgotten Shores, bring the people to freedom, all while trying not to die in the... Now, Nephis creates her own little ragtag group of people who actually live on the outskirts of the Bright Castle. And this is one of the most underrated parts of the entire Forgotten Shores because you have to see how these people live not being behind those protective walls. They get attacked by monsters constantly. They're weak, they're raggedy, they don't have many resources, they're so weak that they can't even kill monsters to become stronger. It's actually a really good and interesting part. There are also some other key highlights of the Forgotten Shores that I really enjoyed, and I know that you would really enjoy. Like how we see Sunny actually kill his first person and the repercussions that it has on him, and how we see Sunny become basically crazy and live inside the furthest outskirts inside of the Dark City surrounded by monsters. We also get to see Sunny become stronger in a really interesting and unique way, as well as get some really cool echoes. And
I'm sorry, little bitch, I did not cheat, believe me. I was just getting my dick up by little Phoebe. Running up too many rats, they now they see me. Smoking on fruit, that pack shit taste like kiwi. Perk got me spinning like a CD. I'm smoking dope watching TV. She's on my dick watching TV. Remember when I told you about Phoebe? Well, yeah, that's Phoebe. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
With this treasure, I summon you.
The angel of death.
Azrael.
Like I said before, you know, I'm the one that can see John Cena. Yeah, I'm the one that knows Victoria's Secret. I'm the one that knows what the dog is doing. You know, I'm that guy. I'm him. I'm him. When I go into a gym, treadmills do push-ups. That's how it is, bro. I'm that guy.
Favorite Benny is smack though. Keep it talking about it like that. Bitch like she love me. See it did that crack. Bitch like she love me. I don't love her back. Yes.
I don't know how they catch us, but I kinda hope they catch us.
To tell you the truth, Harris, I have killed many monsters. Some of them were nightmare creatures and some were men. I killed a person or two as well, but I have never done it out of malice. I've never enjoyed it too much. He paused and then spat, his voice shaking. But I will enjoy killing you. You embody everything that I despise. You sicken me. For that reason alone, I am going to end you. You don't deserve to live at all.
Lend me your wrath! Lend me your hate! Lend me your fire! Praise him! I am the edge of the blade. I am the cut that ends foes. I am the wrath that topples eyes. Sisters of the martyred lady, brothers of the Black Templars, will you fight with me?
I made a million bitch to do like the mimic. I come like a king like the mix. I'm moving that run like I'm getting for sure, for sure. She told me, how can you famous? I'm moving my time, I be going to show for sure. I thought I told you I make it. I fed that bitch and they begging to beat me. Let me see, make her shit, now I am down. This bit, got 100 bands by my side.
Seven severed heads guarded 7 locks, each belonging to the towering statues that stood in silent vigilance, their empty eyes fixed upon the star sigil. It was the very sigil that Sunny had wielded to banish the Dark Sea. And then, the final piece of the prophecy became clear. It was not difficult to understand. Nephis, the dying angel, the precious one destined to be taken from Cassie, and Sunny, the hungry shadow, was the one fated to consume her. This was their fate.
Which means that only one of us can escape.
I don't suppose you'll stay behind and let me go?
I was about to ask you the same.
Not a chance.
Nephis opened her eyes and looked at him, a sense of sorrow appearing on her face. "Leave me, Sunny. Please, go." He shook his head stubbornly. "I don't want to." Changing Star was silent for a moment, looking at him with a pained expression. And then she said, making his world crumble, "Go, lost from light."
Go lost from light.
Be careful what you wish for.
mortal,